Alright, so finally I've been made lobby host, which means I'm totally in control of the tracks that we'll be racing at. So this is going to be really fun for me. We're going to do Indianapolis right now. I'm starting in first, and we're just going to essentially, it's a 5-lap mad dash to the finish, right? So we're not going to worry about tires. We're not going to worry about fuel. It's just basically me and 13 guys behind me trying to chase me. So let's do a little bit of a lesson in protecting our lead. So basically, when you're starting first and you have guys that are catching a draft, especially at Indianapolis, you really have to do a phenomenal job of protecting your lead. Otherwise, you're basically a sitting duck. So the problem with Indianapolis is you have these long straightaways. I mean, if I'm thinking about it, it's 2.5 miles. So the straightaways are probably like 3/4 of a mile, which is basically, it's like literally 10 football fields long. This is long. So people just have like a total opportunity, probably more than 10 football fields to be honest with you, but people have a total opportunity to try and pass you. So it's not a good thing when you do not maximize like your starting, right? So you're starting first, you have to do as best of a job as possible to build that gap. Otherwise, and I'm talking about the gap coming in from, so we're starting at right before turn 1. So coming into turn 1, you're all good, okay? No one's probably going to like duck in unless you make a big mistake at the start. Then going into turn 2, that's already starting enough time because you have a straightaway, a little straightaway. That's already a little bit of time for people to start making way up a draft. But coming into turn 3 on lap 1, if you don't do a good job and you don't establish your position and you don't defend it, you're probably going to have someone trying to duck in and make that pass coming into turn 3 on lap 1. Alright, so we are absolutely back in action here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I love to get these races going, and now the first priority is for me to send it into the corner and protect my lead. But look at this little stutter that happens. This allows this guy behind us to kind of catch our draft, and he kind of fakes us out. He kind of lulled me into a sense of security, and I moved up the racetrack, but then he sent it back down. So fair play to him. It wasn't 100% clean, but since we have no damage on, I'm not mad at him. I think that was a totally fair move, totally within the bounds of reason and within the bounds of what we're doing here with a 5-lap race. You got to make your move wherever you can. So now I see a little bit of weakness. I'm trying to maybe take advantage of what they're doing, but now this guy kind of comes down. A beautiful move by him and kind of ruins my corner a little bit, but he's not able to hang on. So now I'm in second place coming in to lap 2. I guess it was pretty good. But now watch first place. He's trying to break the draft. I would say kind of a dumb move because now you got to go up and down. So now I'm thinking, do I send it into first place? Maybe I should have because I just got absolutely railroaded by this guy again. So now I'm thinking, is he really a clean driver? Do I send it now coming into turn 2? I actually do, but I'm not able to really make it work as I kind of slide coming off the corner. Now we have these two guys who have a head of steam coming in to turn 3 on the backstretch as the guy's driving backwards. We're now 4 wide. I'm going to back off and see if I can pick all 3 off at once. I'm going to let them all make a mistake. And now this freaking green car doesn't make the mistake that I need him to. And I kind of slide up right on his bumper. Not going to make that work. So we're now stuck back in 3rd. I'm not really having the kind of run that I would ideally like as I hit him once again. I just got to recoup my feelings and just refocus because we really only got 3 laps to go here. As I kind of go to the outside, see if I can make it work, I blow the freaking corner. Look how high I am. And that's going to allow all these guys to just kind of get on my inside. Not a good look here as we go into turn 2. I'm really just trying to avoid that red car getting on my inside, but he just sends it into the green car and by proxy sends me into the wall basically almost. So now look how far behind we are. 2.5 laps to go. My only opportunity is really to pass these guys with the draft and then potentially make my way up to first place now. So I have one thing and one thing only on my mind as we start to get closer to 2 laps to go. I just need to send it and force the issue because I know I'm faster. I started first and I know I have the faster car. So now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. I'm trying to plan it right and just try to do whatever I can to get in ahead. So I figure that my best thing is just to actually send it on the inside and whatever happens, happens. So I do that, and this guy ends up kind of saving my ass because I was about to spin out, and he just hits me, straightens me up. But now I got another issue, which is, look how freaking far I am from the guy in front. Now, the thing I have going for me is that, 1, I have the draft from this guy behind me, but 2, I believe I'm the fastest car on the racetrack, And 3, this is one of my favorite tracks. So you can see I am absolutely catching up to him. If I could just get a good corner, that would be nice. I would say a pretty decent corner, but he's doing his corners well too. As we could, like you could see, he is getting absolutely bigger. We were way farther behind. So another terrorist as we can come out of turn 4 with a nice head of steam. I'm not really able to catch his draft though, and I'm going to need to be catching his draft sooner rather than later because we're coming to the white flag right now. 1 lap to go, and we need to be perfect here, guys. So not a good corner entry coming into turn 1. As you can see, that guy kind of picks us off coming into the turn, but he ends up getting a worse exit. So now we just have to bank on being either fast or getting a mistake. So first place ends up making quite a mistake, and I don't want him to block us. So I'm just going to swing it to the inside at the last second. Literally no margin of error. There was nothing he could do. He thought I was going to be on the outside, and now I just got to hold him off. So he really sends it into turn 3, trying to get our bumper, maybe do a little bump and run, but ends up hitting the wall. That was his last gasp effort, and we're just going to have a perfect run, send it in to turn 4, and just gloat, baby. This is a win that we really deserved from the beginning because we were fastest, but it did end up working out in a pretty good way. I wouldn't say we made enemies there, but good win.
Ooh, that was actually fun. I had fun. It was like weird because I felt like I was the fastest by a little bit. The guy in the 12 probably had the best pace besides me, but sometimes when you get everyone with the draft, it kind of cancels out everyone's pace. Like if you're on a short track where the cars aren't going as fast, that basically means that the draft doesn't play much of an effect because draft is maximized when you're going high speed. Now, why is that? That's because of air resistance. So if you're biking, right, and you're biking at a couple of miles an hour, well, basically you break through the wind. Like let's say you have someone following you, you break through the wind, your bike breaks through the wind, but then it kind of reforms that air bubble behind you. So the other guy behind you at 2 miles an hour then has to break that wind over again. Now let's say you're at 20 miles an hour and there's a guy biking behind you. Well, all of a sudden you're breaking that wind and the air doesn't reform, so that guy now has an easier time because you've already broke that wind. So now, let's say you're going 100 miles an hour. Well, okay, you've broken the wind, some comes back and you're able to follow the guy. But now let's say you're going 200 miles an hour like you're on this track, you're basically creating a V shape with that wind, and it makes that other driver basically not have to break much wind, and he's able to go way faster than you because he's basically not driving into the full wind. So when you have like big tracks like that, it basically cancels out. If you have a little bit less skill, you can make up for, I guess, the lack of a good corner and turn it into like a better straightaway. So you saw that in action there. I ended up winning, thankfully. A little bit of a weird battle there. I think a couple things happened. A couple guys messed up, but we ended up getting that win. Appreciate you guys for watching. That was a good one. And until next time.